Test, test, test. All right, sorry for that, everyone. My a breaker went off in my house, and it was just for my room. So, yeah, that's what happened. I just need a moment, and I'll be back in the game. Well, we will have to do it again, but I'll rush to the part we were at. Open. Go. I still got to get some stuff set up really quick. If you don't see the stream live, I'll just send a message in the chat. One technical difficulty to another. Well, at least folks who weren't here earlier for the beginning of the game will be able to see it once I get everything set up again. Okay, got my model back up now. That PC should be all ready to go. All right, everything should be good to go now. Welcome back, everyone. Sorry about the stream being bad today. The breaker went wrong. Now I'm just trying to get everything back together. All right, so yeah, breaker aside, we're gonna give this another try. I'm gonna give everyone a little bit to get back in. Hopefully, people are trying to come back at least. Just looking at signs for life or signs of life from people. Anyone there? Hi, Mama. Okay, I'll turn off. Alert them off.
Bird up.
Let's see. Channel points aren't supposed to have any redemption thing. There we go. That's off now. I don't know why they would have a notification for that redeem, but all right. Well, let's go ahead and start again. For anyone who missed the beginning of the game, you'll get to see it all over again. So here we go.
Okay, 2 minutes. This is your 2 minutes. Are the intro crews ready? 1 second, please. Hold your first positions. There's somebody at the door.
There's somebody at the door.
Okay, 1 second. Can we get a precise location on the player, please? There's 2 of them. Right. Okay. Hi. So this is a bit awkward. I think it's probably best if we're just really honest with each other. It's a bit awkward.
A little bit awkward, yeah.
The thing is, the game you've just downloaded, somebody is playing it right now, so you can't.
Oh.
You can't play it. I'm really sorry. Yeah, this is quite inconvenient. I don't know why this keeps happening. Sorry, we're generally quite organised. You should come inside. I'll explain. Just through here.
Okay.
Here's the thing. The game's live, which makes it impossible to insert you, and also it's just quite difficult now for you to leave. But I think it's okay. I know what to do. I'm gonna try and call publicity and liaisons, and we should be able to take you to the green room. All right? If you just wait here, and yeah, we'll be able to get you in. All right. Let me just find the number here. Okay. It's ringing. Oh, they hung up. Okay, I'm going to try that again. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry, I know we've both got better things to be doing with our lives. Okay, oh, I know what's going on. We've got something of a strike sort of situation emerging. Yeah, we've become quite understaffed. Actually, you wouldn't mind doing me a favour, would you? Come through here. I could really use your help. The thing is, our entire weather department and half the wildlife crew is just up to left before we could even begin this morning. And it's all super simple. It's mostly buttons. You like buttons, right? And you'll be able to play the game
I love buttons.
as soon as whoever's in there at the moment is finished. Promise. Your help? Oh, this is fantastic. Okay, this way. Yeah, the lighting department's right through here. Right. First, oh my god, that switch literally says unknown, and you thought it'd be a good idea to flick it? Who knows what it does? I don't even know if we should be concerned. I still need you to pull the lighting lever, though. That would be ideal. Yeah, just now. It's the bigger one. Could you, maybe not do that? Please. The lighting department spent at least an afternoon on that. They'd be really unhappy if they were, still here. There it goes. Little lights blinking on in the windows of the mansion, up past the ornamental ponds. Oh, it's pretty magical, really. Okay, now we need to attack them with a tiger. It's a heist game. The player's playing a big heist. I don't want to spoil it for you, but the tiger's very important. It's in the title. All right, into wildlife preparation. Just through the door.
And we all know exactly what to do here.
It's so safe. We'd usually have someone else do this, but they started striking right after one of them was up. Well, that's not... I shouldn't have... Just pull the lever and let's say introduce the tiger to the level.
Food hole.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You really shouldn't do that. The tiger won't be able to get out of the cage. I don't think. But I mean, I wouldn't bet on it. No, it's okay. It's cool. They pressed the button too early. Stand down. We need to actually release the tiger. Look, here's what I'll tell you. This tiger alone has eaten at least 7 human hands. Probably more. Almost definitely more. Oh no, not that door. There's a far more pressing concern in the room, and it's growling. There's an actual tiger in this room, an actual tiger. Perfect, that went perfectly. Look, the tiger's inside the level. We need to make sure it doesn't, eat everybody. Could you hit the red button to send the retrieval team? It's the button, I think it's by the door to the weather room. We just can't leave the tiger in the level. We tried that once, and it ate all the bugs. Oh, they actually meant to do it this time. The tiger's out in the level. Okay, go. They're on the move. Okay, I'm trying to work out where you're going to be most useful. I don't think we have anybody left in catwalks, do we?
I'm super useful everywhere.
Oh, great. Wow. Can't believe it. I guess weather control then. The door's just over there. Oh, I hate this room. This hasn't been easy, During our second performance, a pipe burst in here and flooded the whole garden level. The player got stuck on the roof of the summer house. Alright, okay, the script calls for a storm. Let's make it rain. It's the red valve on the pipe next to the door. Gently. A lot of the story relies on there being a storm. It's a big part of Act 3. No, too much. Okay, we're good. There's a button below the fan that sorts out the fun. Oh. It might be wired up wrong. I'm sorry. That room gets quite damp. Now I think about it, it might have been saved. Oh no! There it is! There it goes! You've got to picture the building lit up by these big flashes of lightning. It's really imposing. The set's massive. Oh, speaking of, the player has apparently entered the mansion through the orangery and is...
The orangery, huh?
They're going to use the lift. Okay, that's okay. We can do this. Right here. This way. Actually, wait, hang on a second. This is really important. Behind this door is the closest the player ever passes backstage. They'll be right behind a wall, and I don't know what the wall's made of, but I do know that it's phenomenally cheap. So, we must be very quiet, okay?
Super quiet.
Just down the
quiet
steps.
as a bird.
Yeah, that's good. That's the mansion in there. I didn't want to tell you, but we actually lost the player for a minute.
Did I lose tracking again?
I mean,
oh my gosh, I did.
It's fine, we're good. But they completely vanished for a bit. Which, thinking about it, might be a fairly good argument for not pressing the switch marked unknown. In any case, here's what we need to do. The player's going to come down the corridor and call the lift. And once the doors open and they get inside, they're going to press the down button. When that happens, all you have to do is pull the lever on this side. This lift was always supposed to power itself, obviously. This is just a hangover from rehearsals that nobody got round to replacing. Besides, it's fine. We've got plenty of time. And actually, no, wait, here he comes. Shh, now, eyes front. Wait for it. Ready? What are they doing? Why haven't they pressed the button? Did they hear us? Don't move. Now. Pull the lever. Pull the lever now, please. What are you waiting for? Pull it.
Fix something.
Breaking my heart. Oh, thank God, we're moving. No idea what happened there. I think they can't have heard us. I hope they didn't hear us. They probably didn't hear us. At least they're on their way now.
Fixed it.
Actually, they're going to be very busy with the vault. You could start playing in the grounds. We just need to prep some pyrotechnics for the escape sequence, and then you're good to go. There's a lift to the pyro workshop up the stairs. If we could just hurry along. Oh my God! Are you okay? Do you still have your ankles? Are they in the correct orientation? Okay, you're okay? You do? That's great. Oh God, I'm so sorry about that. This is the weather room, isn't it? Right. Okay, listen. Since we can't reach the lift to Pyro, the only way back into the game is through is through a department called High Concept Miscellaneous Interactions. Oh, I didn't want to have to do this to you. There's usually a lot of training involved.
All right.
But I'll tell
Let's
you
try
something.
this
You'll be
again.
fine. We'll be fine. You brace yourself.
We'll
Welcome
be
to Miscellaneous
fine.
Interactions. This is the department that controls, well, it controls a lot of things. Locked and unlocked doors, interior lights, smoke machines, telephone calls, actor cues, laser lights, vault guards, tranquilizer darts, strength, you know, that kind of stuff.
Seven.
What are you doing? What? Look, in this room, it's really important that we work this out together, okay? Yeah, I don't think that light's a bad sign. 5, 7, 2, 1, 2, 1.
4.
3.
4.
Okay, so what we did there, it
2,
turns out, was
3.
the wrong thing. Could you press 9
Hashtag
and then 4
69.
and then 1? Did we? Oh, I think we restarted it. It's all right. There's a page in the manual about this. Oh, I think you should probably get that. Listen, I know it's tempting to ignore problems that you've caused, but this is really the worst time for that. Just come on, pick up the phone. What did you just? That could have been very important.
It could have been.
Why did you? It's all right. Okay, I found the right instructions. All right, I need no, not that one. 9, please. Very important. I double checked. 9. All right. Let's just assume that we've got 9 sorted. Right? Okay. 5, 2, 1, 4, 4. Wait, no! Hit start to cancel that. And then a 2. 6. Just ignore that. That's fine. Right. 7, 2, left. 1, 4, 2. Oh, Christ. Please pick up the phone. Please. And talk to them this time. How can you? Oh, come on. Again? Do you not know how to use the phone? All right, back to the board. Hit these 4 numbers. 2, 5, 9. Oh,
7.
I need to bother with 9. Oh.
7.
That sound that I might have told you to ignore, it turns out that
I love how
that's a
9 is
very
just
bad
stuck.
alarm. So I'm going to need you to just do a 180, right down the stairs, please. Right down. I'd probably go a bit further. Move. You really want to move right now. I'm sorry I didn't know about the alarm, but there's been a lot going on in my life, and you really must move. Come on. Move. Move. Here's good. Great. Oh, that wasn't too bad. Okay, back. Come on, back up the stairs. A bit fast. All right, don't worry. Actually, do worry a bit. Hit 7, 4, then asterisk. Is there a fire below right now? Is there something on fire?
Oh, yay,
It
yeah.
isn't there. I don't.
Yeah, that's fire.
Really, I don't think any of this room is supposed to be on fire. Please don't do what I think you're about to do. Please don't do it. No! Why did you do it anyway? Why?
5.
Wait, hang on.
2.
We can still fix this. We can. I
We
need
can.
to find a blue
Star.
panel marked downpour. Do you see it? It turned off, right? I found a way to
Four.
activate the fail-safe lever to the left of the key. Oh no, wait, on the right of the keypad. Right, not left. Don't do the left. Okay, when the downpour panel lights up, I'm going to need you to pull it. When it lights up, not before. Any moment now.
Everything's off.
Now?
Oh, look. Oh. Hey.
Did we do it? I think we did it. The
We
plane
did
left
it.
the mansion. I think we did it.
We
And
did
it's supposed to
it.
still be raining, but you know, hey, come back down the stairs. You're done here. You don't need to spend any more time in this room. You can forget about the whole thing. This is it. You're done, sister. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You really helped out. We couldn't have made it through without you. We really couldn't have. Through here. Here we are again. So this is how it's going to work. You go in there. Just give me a moment. I will bring the lights up. And Dr. Langeskov, the tiger, and the terribly cursed emerald. Enjoy it.
It's my turn to play the game. Yay!
Oh, don't tell me you're getting cold. Thank you so much.
Now, as I said, that wasn't the full game. There's so much more to this. There's little secrets and Easter eggs all over the place that you can get. But this game is free, so go and get it and play it. It's amazing.
You've got to be kidding me. I can't do this again. Okay, this is really awkward. The fact of the matter is... Wait, hang on. Where are you going? Right, so, look, I need to talk you... Okay, that's the lighting room. You need to put... Okay, fine. This is wildlife prep. No, hang on. That's a... Hang on. There's a tiger in there. There's a tiger in there. That's... No, don't pull that. Wait, no. Oh.
Uh-oh. Oh my god. It's so funny. It's also very loud. Okay. So yeah, that was Dr. Langeskov, the tiger, the... Yeah, it's the long-titled game. It's a fantastic one. It's free. If I recall correctly, it's free. I'm pretty sure it's free. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to switch over to the Stanley Parable now. So give me a moment to get the break screen on. I got to change the stream information. Next one's called the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, and it's amazing. It is quite possibly one of the best games I've ever played. You know what, now I'm going to go see if the game is free really quick. Oh yeah, it's free to play. Yeah, so Dr. Langeskov the Tiger and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, a Whirlwind Heist is 100% free. So you should definitely go and get it and play it and have fun because it is glorious. Okay, Stanley, where are you? There you are. Now, I want everyone to keep in mind that this is a story about a man named Stanley. Well, you know, yeah, I don't do that justice. We'll let the narrator explain once we get in game. Developed by Crows. All right, let's see really quick. Gotta turn off something really quick. The Stanley Parable 4. Oh, I'm picking the word. Saturday night. Yep. It just seemed like a Saturday night. Oh, Saturday night sequel. There we go. You are playing the Stanley Parable 4 Saturday night sequel. Well, okay. Let me go ahead and tinker with the audio a bit. I don't want it to be too loud for you all. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna do that. Turn the music down. Sound effects volume down. Put it at 80. Video. Whoa, that is the wrong resolution by a long shot. Oh, this is the worst kind of resolution adjuster. There we go. Perfect. Okay. That should all be good now. Yes, subtitles on. Yep. Put that to large so they're easier to see. Enables translated labels on top of in-world text. Okay, so we're going to delete the save data and we're going to reset the game because I have done this game before, and there are some things that only come naturally as you play the game. So we're going to reset all the data. Choose a screen and subtitle language. English. Confirm. Have you played Stanley Parable before? Yes. Please adjust the slider until the computer is barely visible. We'll put it right there. That looks comfy. Please enter the current time. It'd be 3. Oop. It is not AM. Oh, is this? Okay, there we go. And now we just wait for the minute to come up, and then we continue onward. Want this to be super accurate. Super duper accurate. Boom. Okay. All right. So this is what the original title screen looks like. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Let's begin. The end is never the end is never the end. The end is loading.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Stanley was
And then
happy.
one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
All right, so this is where we take control, but I'm going to adjust the audio settings just a little bit. Oh, it changed. Okay.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay, there we go. Okay, so this is a game that has very many multiple endings, and I gotta change my mouse settings. Wow, they really changed everything, didn't they? Control. Wait. I need. Where's my mouse sensitivity? Ah, there we go. Much better. Okay, so as I said, this game has multiple endings. There's a whole bunch of them, but the simplest one is the one that you can get at the very beginning of the game by simply
But Stanley
closing the door.
simply couldn't handle the pressure. What if he had to make a decision? What if a crucial outcome fell under his responsibility? He had never been trained for that. No.
Not once.
This couldn't go any way except badly. The thing to do now, Stanley thought to himself, is to wait. Nothing will hurt me. Nothing will break me. In here I can be happy, Forever. I will be happy. Stanley waited. Hours passed, then days. Had years gone by? He no longer had the ability to tell. But the one thing he knew for sure, beyond any doubt, was that if he waited long enough, the answers would come. Eventually, someday, they would arrive. Soon, very soon now, this will end. He will be spoken to. He will be told what to do.
Yes.
Now it's just a little bit closer. Now it's even closer. Here it comes.
Oh. So some of the endings of the game just resets automatically. And so if that happens suddenly, no, the game didn't break. That's part of the design.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Let's see. I think I have to get a different ending first before I can do what I want to do in this room. Boop.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he
Oh.
entered the door on his left.
What do you think, chat, left or right? They both have choices. They both have different things. But what those things are will change depending on which way we go. Could go left. We could also go right. I'll go left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Yes. The broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
He did not. In fact, we're gonna just wait here.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
None whatsoever. You're absolutely right. Except I got this nice granola bar right here. I could use a snack.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA. Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing? Why? Please offer me some explanation.
I got a
here.
granola
I'm
bar.
genuinely confused. You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
This is my favorite part of the game, not gonna lie.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh,
No,
did you get the broom
the
closet
broom
ending?
closet
The
ending?"
broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning. Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is. That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
Man, he got mean really fast, didn't he?
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Oh, how
Hello?
nice.
Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
And that truly is everything.
Ah, second player, it's good to have you on board. I guarantee you can't do any worse than the person who came before you. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
But downstairs. Ominous.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all? None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all.
This is what happens when video game characters figure out that they're video game characters.
Back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice speak these words was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream.
Time to wake up.
So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want. I want my apartment and my wife and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
That's what he thinks. Uh-oh.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Bump.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Poor Mariella, having such a normal
Mariella
day until
woke
this
up
happened.
on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.
And that's the dream ending. I don't know if it's actually called that, but I call it the dream ending.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Let's get out of here.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then
Oh my
praised
gosh,
the game
amazing.
for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a
Very
fun
bright.
and unique place to be? Why
No.
don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
No.
Then in that case, we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the
Aha.
other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other options so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
I believe he starts singing if we wait a little bit longer. Maybe that's the other option. Maybe he did just leave it up to me. All right, we'll come back. We'll do the other option. Begin the game again.
All
right, now we gotta go do the other option. He's talked it
What
up
could
so
it
much.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes.
Yes,
So,
it is very
now
good at
that
that.
you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Yes.
Well, I don't know how to say this politely, but you could literally just hit escape and restart the game any old time you want, like right now.
I
You've
could.
done it just
He
then.
is correct about that.
Now would also be an appropriate time to quit. Any of these
Nothing
points
but
and
truth
so
from
many,
this
many
man.
more, all of them are appropriate. I'm enjoying what seems to be an internal conflict going on where you are literally unable to act on your own desires to restart the game. So, just to push the envelope, I'm going to try and make this as miserable as possible and see how long you can maintain. There once was a man named Stanley, who people considered so manly. But the truth must be told, he was not very old and was quite particularly gangly. What Stanley liked most was buttons. He pushed them like some kind of glutton. He did it all day in a meaningful way, but his brain had long ceased to function. Which is why he is in this parable and lives an existence quite terrible. And if you are not strong and keep playing along, you too will become quite unbearable. Yes. You too will become quite unbearable.
And from here, the guitar just loops over and over and over and over again. I love the little songs, though.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Things are slightly different.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We'll go ahead and do left again.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
The executive bathroom. Money in the morning, money in the evening, money for breakfast, money crisp. Oh my gosh. See, can I go in the store yet? I can. That means I can do the elevator. Wow, those are bright. All right, let's go up. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. Okay. Let's get to our destination, which is exactly where we started.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an
2319
number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I'm trying my best.
2845. Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
No patience for this man. Beep.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did
Question
he feel
everything.
this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Would it?
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But escape. Escape. I love it.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Oh. That's a shame.
The door behind him was not
I mean,
shut.
death is a release.
Stanley still had
It's not a
every
punishment, I guess.
opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Oh yeah. I'm ready for this. Whee! Yay, we made it.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
Man, the narrator is so mean. Whoop.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley
Oh
was
my
led
gosh.
helplessly into the
It's
enormous
the narrator's
metal
narrator.
jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
Ah! The Stanley
And yet it would be just a few
Parable.
minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
Right?
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
Amazing. Office layout. The blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was just the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development, though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor had been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in a good time. The two doors. The set of the two doors was of the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. It's so good. Look at all the credits. Maintenance room. We haven't gotten there yet. But it's really cool that the devs did this. There's a money ending? What? Huh. But yeah, they include some cut stuff and like initial designs for things. Like this was supposed to be the maintenance lift at the beginning. Monitor room elevator, I mean. Buttons. Alright, we'll be in the game again.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We did enter the door on our left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
This is where things get interesting.
Stepping in.
Because I'm not going into the office. No, no, no. I am Bird. Hi, Opal, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we're going back. Back. All the way back. The narrator can't stop us now. We locked him in the office with our boss. Time for us to make our own choices. To be free. Beep. Beep. Now this door's open. What a dark and mysterious place. I'm sure nothing bad. You are now leaving Escape Pod Bay, floor 760. Alright. We do love escape pods randomly built into office complexes, so that's where we're going. Five, 7? Getting close now. Four, 5, 8. Seven, 5, 9. This is it. We're getting to the escape pod. We're leaving. Escape pod launch bay. Let's do it. Escape pod. There it is. Doesn't look ominous or dangerous, so we should definitely just get in. They forced me to restart. How rude. We were almost there.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yeah, perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
When Stanley came to a set of
We'll
two
go
open
left.
doors, he entered the door on his left.
Blah, 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 blah. There's so much just through
Yet
this
there
left
was
door.
not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
We are going up.
The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
What?
2845.
Oh, 0, 1, 2, 3. You're right. Yeah, it wasn't it.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
I love how much he gets annoyed at that. Down we go. The end is never. The end is never. The end is never.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I don't know, does he? Yes, he does. Camera.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No.
Oh.
He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Probably.
But here was the proof, the heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Yeah, fight the power. Stop all of them. Yeah. Unless...
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Control?
Yeah.
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system. In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes.
2 minutes!
Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going, what all this means. I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now? Or did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Sold?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is? Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
Oh, God.
Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another
Turn it
choice.
off! Turn it off!
Make it count.
Turn it
Or
off!
It's all the same to me. All
Turn it
part of the
off!
joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the moment I say happily ever after.
I died. Oh, goody. I'm alive.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to take a meeting. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Why make a choice when we could just get on a rail?
Hello, and thank you for playing The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, The Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Yay!
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
Yay!
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content. Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Gimme the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness. Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
I'm so ready. My body is ready. Thank you for enjoying the new content.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says Test achievement, please ignore. What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Oh, okay. I guess I'm doing it. Oh.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something.
Okay. What?
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Shiny.
I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
No.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013 when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something.
The Last of Us. Oh my gosh. Yes, 2013. $1. Ooh. Don't play for 5 years. Unachievable is impossible. It is impossible to get this achievement. Look at all the awards they got. Well, nominations they got. Oh my gosh. Creator surprisingly down to earth. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. I love it. Stanley Parable deals tough choices. Oh, such a nice bench that I can't sit on. Shame.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that?
Oh my gosh.
Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was.
It's so big.
It was literally every
so big.
game ever created. It was Skyrim. It was Persona 3. It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Person of the year. Oh, look, it's Mariella. Map design. Smiley face button. The 2 doors.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
I see. The serious room. Oh my gosh. So the serious room is where the narrator would take you to have a serious conversation about cheating. Seriously. So, yeah. Can't believe we can't get in there, though. It's a bit of a shame, really.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again. Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh, no. Oh, God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam, the online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's being collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Oh, so many reviews.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. To be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with.
Oh, it's definitely a solo experience, too. There's lots of stuff to be experienced.
As light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did. But maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record.
Yeah.
I feel...
I love
like
it too.
Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have. And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, We'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet, no, until 245. Got the logic of elimination working backwards, the deduction therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000 years, until just yesterday, here and there, forward and back, and never a moment before lunchtime. It can't be. It's the only thing there is. How many billions left until so much more than forever ago? Which is why I say, the story and the choices, or what have you, and therefore by becoming it is, so on and so forth, until inevitably we all until the end of time, at which time everything all at once, so now you see, blah 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 blah.
I love
We've
it.
eaten
It
too
just
much and
loops.
it can't be just yet. Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if I had to describe it, I'd say it was perhaps less of a rumination and more of a treatise. Or maybe a manifesto. Look, I'll outline it for you very briefly, and you can tell me what you think. Okay, so my theory is that any choice you've ever made is... Well there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof! Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really, truly getting longer, and my God, there's no way out of the room. Stanley, the door is gone. It's completely gone. Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back. Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time.
Well, we've fast forwarded quite a bit. The plant died. The clock stopped ticking. The little red blinky up there. Oh God. Make it stop. Make it stop. Make it stop. Get me out of here.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands.
Oh my God, he's
but
seething.
Then, he's talking
He's
too
seething.
much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability, it's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words that they are speaking into the world. As though there were no consequences for a lack of cohesion in one's assessment of others. But of course, absolutely anyone can leave a review. So here's what we get. We get these demands.
I don't think he's here.
the end, is never 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 the end.
He might be going a little crazy.
Is never the end, is
Oh, some of the ceiling kind of fell through. I see. Not too bad. We'll just skip forward. We'll just skip forward. Yeah, that's been working so far. Oh, it's daytime. How pretty. Here comes the sun, do do do. Here comes the sun, and I say, skip forward. Pretty. No, the plants, they were so beautiful. Oh, button fell over. There's a way out now. Wait, does the button still work though? I don't think the button works anymore. Oh. The planet might have died while I was in that room. Ooh, I see something up ahead. Is that trees? Maybe trees. Oh. We're back.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content?
Oh,
Call
good.
me,
You noticed my sign.
impressed.
Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
More elevators. We love elevators.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra-deluxe nonsense. I say we take it one step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
2. Wow.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new
Oh my
experience,
gosh.
built from the ground up.
New
Why, there are so many
experience.
possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is
My
what
God.
fans have truly been asking for.
Yes. This is what the fans want. Yes.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Sorry, my body just decided it was about to shut down for some reason. Button that says the name of the player that is playing the game. Oh my gosh, where's this button? I must know.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people.
Yeah, this is the
So
Ultra
with that
Deluxe
in mind,
edition.
my first addition to the game is this button, which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
Alright, let's see. What's my name?
Jim.
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble
I'm
into
so
dust.
ready for Jim.
Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now? If so, then please step forward and press the button.
Jim doesn't care about the button. Just kidding, I'll press the button.
Jim.
Yes! You see? What a thrill! What a rush! That was you! The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Jim.
Ooh, it hits even harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money. Let's take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim. I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all
Jim.
sense of who
Jim.
you actually
Jim.
are.
Jim.
I've lost myself.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work. An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it would go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay. Yeah, epilogue. The reassurance bucket! We can't miss out on that. We have to go see that next. Ugh. You stole Jim!
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket. You see, Stanley,
doesn't seem to be
anytime
there.
you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest,
It's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Sorry for this bucket.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort,
Oh, yeah,
even
I
in the
feel it.
face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket seem to go on, don't they?
Oh,
All
I
this
lost
and
tracking.
more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, it's back. Okay. I don't know why tracking's being so weird today.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't
The
already.
button that says Jim. You heard Jim in the game. Aw. Ooh. Ugh. I'm trying my best. I'm like nodding off right now.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Good question. Oh.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy 12th
Wow.
birthday, step-niece, it is.
Well. Oh.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
New and easy achievement. Oh my gosh.
Now here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes, you see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's as simple as that. Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a quick break because I have to go to the restroom really bad. So I will be right back. Thank you all for your patience. We will get back to the Stanley Parable in a moment.
Avalon J just raided with 4 viewers.
I've been raided. Give me a second, my tracking broke. Avalon J, thank you for coming on in. Hope you had a good stream. What were you streaming at? Let me get you a shout out really quick. Shout out Avalon J. J. I can do this. More Indiana Jones. I hear that game is really good. We are playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, and it is going hilariously. Absolutely hilariously. Thank you so much for bringing your Raiders on in. My name is Rika Bird. I stream Wednesday through Sunday, 6 p.m. EST on the weekdays, and on Saturday and Sunday I stream at 3 p.m. EST. We have a bucket. It is our bucket. I want this machine to work so I can get the unachievable achievement. Alright. Let's take our Stanley bucket and head on forward and see what other amazing things we can find.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
The jump circle!
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece then.
Ooh, Stanley collectibles. Well, come on in, all the birds. All the birds. There, I see there's a magpie and a warbird.
Warbird underscore actual Warbird just underscore actual is now a bird watcher.
Oh, that's not supposed to be on. Give me a second. Let me fix that. Goodness, it's only supposed to be one notification. Where is that? Where is that? There we go. Blah, blah, blah. Magpie noises! Ah! There we go. I'm trying to move away from using stream elements. Alright, now it should be fixed. Blah, blah, blah.
Ah, collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Oh my gosh. Everyone wants it. Oh my god. Can you find them? Can you find them?
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Tragic indeed. It's wild. Creepy
Calling
area,
it
yeah.
Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean? But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
Yeah. Oh, the gym button's still gone. I want the gym button back. I liked the gym button. Blah, 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 blah. T-shirts. I saw the new content. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Let's see. Through the epilogue. We go through the epilogue. No, wait. There's a bottom or an infinite hole. Yeah. Let's go to the
Monster
infinite hole. The
Hunters
infinite
new
hole.
deluxe editions, LOL.
Yeah. Oh, we've already been there. Where's the infinite hole? Is that over here? Oh, okay. Depth infinite. I see, I see, I see, I see. Whoa. It just keeps going.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
I'm into it. Let's do it. Infinite hole. Woo! Look at us go.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
But it's so...
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
But I can fall forever. I can fall forever.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Just the two of us, just the
Things
two
got a
of
little
us.
heated there. I think we both
Building
said some
castles
things
in
we
the
didn't
sky,
mean. Why
just
don't
the
we just
two
put
of
all
us.
this behind us and
You
agree
and
to just call the
I.
hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
So ready. Whoa, someone's a serial smoking. Never smoke. Smoking's bad for your health. New mug. Could go up to the top and then jump down again. Could. Alright, we'll do it.
Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
I have an idea for the sequel. Infinite Hole
for
2!
heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh, Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above.
Okay.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled. I really do have so much more to show you and to talk about, and I've had enough of the hole for a lifetime.
Yeah, we've had a lot of the hole. Let's get some more! Whee!
Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yes. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall
but
standards
Sias,
for
that last one
accountability
comes
and
with a
marketing.
bicycle, so...
What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter. Well, there it is. The shame of my lie has come to haunt me. Not only is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very aggressive divot. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching.
Oh, I'd ride a
itch.
Monster Hunter bike every day.
Who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
No. No, I won't. I shan't. This is my hole now. I have claimed it. Property of Stanley and Stanley's Bucket Gym. Yes. Okay, maybe one little teleport.
Is the teleport button not working? You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Uh-oh.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear
Goodbye,
to
narrator.
be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked
No,
for.
it was not
It's
in the
a
first
win
one, nope.
for everyone. You get to be with the hole. I get to do literally anything else. Take care,
Yay.
Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Thank you, narrator. This hole and I shall become the best of friends. What was that noise? Do I need to be worried? Uh-oh. The hole's taking me. But it sounds so peaceful. What did you miss? I found a bucket. I found an infinite hole that goes on forever. Bird up. The hole is now kidnapping me. I'm being kidnapped by the infinite hole. Well, chat, it was nice knowing all of you. I'm being kidnapped by this hole. F to change your perspective. Oh. 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 G to change your perception. Oh my god. Change your reality. Oh.
You're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. You're no longer using up this space of mine. My head's stronger. You're no longer using up this space of mine.
Oh.
Stanley? Stanley? Stanley!
Puppies!
Oh, good, you're awake. It seems
Oh,
you
hi.
had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodlepip.
Uh-oh. Oh no, we're being kidnapped again. Oh, put us back at the entrance. Nice, nice.
Go on, try out some of the new features.
Is the gym button back? Do we gotta press the gym button again? All my hopes and dreams rest on this one button. Aww. Maybe this door will lead us to the gym button. It's locked. Drat. Alright, let's go past the epilogue. I thought the hole was cool, though. Settings World Champion. Oh. Oh. Wait. Can we open the door in the settings? Fine, be that way. Mostly Infinite Hole. It changed its name. I gotta go see what the hole looks like now. Now it's only mostly infinite. Oh, it's closed. Oh, look, the exit. Up these stairs.
All right, have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Okay, that's actually a pretty neat picture.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work. There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not
Ooh.
it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience.
I'm ready.
Okay. Are you ready? Here it
Yes.
is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2. Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind. Hold on. Let me do a different arrangement. Okay, yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features into it. Tastefully, of course. With respect. With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
The Stanley Parable 2. Cool.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Will I have the bucket with me?
Stanley worked for a
The
company in a big
balloons!
building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk.
Where's the bucket,
telling him
though?
what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years
Real-world
at the
data
company
entry jobs,
had this
yeah.
happened. This complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Oh, the bucket's truly gone.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley
Yay!
picked up the bucket.
Got the bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This
Time
was
to
not
defy.
the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that
Yes,
the
the
employee
bucket.
lounge was simply the place to be.
Yes,
And
the
here
bucket
it was.
guides.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Bucket,
Never mind.
bucket.
The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left,
to go back to the meeting room.
Bucket, bucket.
No, said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift. Good, said the bucket. Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
I missed a statue. I'll have to go back and get it.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless... What if
Mine.
the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket.
I'm ready to figure out the bucket. Oh, yes.
Now
Is
then,
this a bucket?
I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 2. Is this a bucket?
No.
Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket. Item 3. Is this a bucket?
No.
Incorrect.
Oh.
This is a bucket.
Oh, I see.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
Yes, I knew it.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
No.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Oh my god.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Yes.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out.
The
I've
world
lost
is a
all
bucket.
sense of
Forget
perspective.
flat Earth.
What is
Forget
a
the
bucket?
Earth being
What
on a
isn't
turtle.
bucket? Mere moments
It's
ago, I
bucket
could answer these
Earth.
questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
No,
Okay,
not Jim!
Here we go.
No! No! No!
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this
Yay!
is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
This is so fucking ridiculous. Last time I played, I didn't even get that
How long
ending.
was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Yay, bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
Yay! Not gonna lie, I would pay to have a Stanley figurine. Oh. Oh. Well, I didn't expect this. What are all these cassette tapes? Narrator dialogue! Oh my gosh. Have we done it? Have we broken the cycle? Am I the narrator now?
Okay, this is day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes. The sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter
I'm being
how
called out
many
here.
times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down. It doesn't make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it.
Yes. Yes.
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even just an hour with the bucket.
Yes.
This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get...
Oh.
What's that? Who's there?
Oh. I'm now afraid of holding the bucket, but it is my bucket.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
They were still missing. Figurine fighters meeting today in the meeting room.
The confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Yes. Well, we gotta go to the figurine finders meeting. That way we can find more figurines.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Ah. Bottom text. Trust the completionist instinct. Oh. We must find them. There will be a reward for finding them all. There will be cleaning of this wall required. Stop kidding yourselves. I want them so much. I want to go home. Looks like 427. Ah ha ha ha.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait. Now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Yeah.
Expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Yeah, fuck you, broom closet. My bucket.
Okay, I've got you something which I think will help settle this debate once and for all. Here we go. There. Now it's settled. No more debate, no more discussion. Take a hike, broom closet, with all your meandering philosophical diatribes about the nature of cleaning supplies and their relationship to broom closets in the natural order of things.
Yeah.
All right, coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Wait, but if I go down with the bucket, will it change this ending? Because I have a bucket now.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? Or
What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that.
Stanlerine.
Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Got it. But now I need to know if this ending changed now that we got the
But
bucket.
Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then
Halfway
something
there, yeah.
occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought
I want
to
my
himself,
friendship cube.
maybe I
Damn
am
it,
crazy.
Valve. Where
He
is my
looked down at the
friendship
bucket in
cube?
his arms. Am I
WH.
crazy?
What?
He asked the bucket.
What is that?
The bucket
Zero,
returned
what
his
is that?
gaze, but said nothing at all.
Bucket.
That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
A bucket.
And that's when Stanley realized,
Oh my god.
this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday
Oh my
bucket.
god.
Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did
Oh
I end up
god.
with someone else's bucket?
How
This
did
is
I
all
get
terribly
this?
wrong. Surely no
Oh,
good
no.
would come from this.
The bucket.
Who knows what sorts of bizarre
The bucket.
hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence
Where's
of
the bucket?
Indeed.
Where's
Now
my
he noticed
bucket?
The rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh,
The
gracious.
bucket.
Exclaimed, without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it.
Where's the
Far off in the
bucket?
distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's
Ah.
me! The bucket!
I'm coming, bucket.
He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were
Where's my
his.
bucket?
None of them were
No.
his special bucket.
No.
To me, Stanley!
This can't be happening.
He had
No.
to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly
Bucket.
restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze
Bucket.
dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been
Oh my
prevented
God.
if only he'd taken his bucket with him.
If only.
Perhaps
Poor
he didn't
Stanley.
even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
And she backflipped all the way to work. I fucking love this bucket. This bucket has truly changed the game. It's a game changer,
All of his coworkers
100%.
had gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
Oh my god.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Button.
Oh, good Stanley, I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a
Adventure
sequel.
Line
They
had
want
a
more of
trademark
their
on it.
favorite
That's so
jokes,
funny.
not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Bird up.
Oh my gosh, this is amazing. I'm being shaken and birded up and
Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Da 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 da.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Wait, no. Not my bucket. Where are you taking me, Adventure Line? Where are you leading me?
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. No, no.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now. The fans are waiting. Do it for the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
I think I died.
Bucket Destroyer, my prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Oh my god. Oh, goodness.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself, and Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
No. I have a bucket, you're right.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Go left this time.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Aha! I was hoping there'd be one
Okay,
here.
I'm going back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by 1? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me.
Very funny. I don't think the bucket will change the elevator, but I want to see if it does. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, didn't it?
Stepping...
No. No, we're taking our bucket and we're getting out of here. We've done this before without the bucket, but now that we have the bucket here, it'll surely work. Nothing can hold us back now. The bucket and I are the ultimate force of power in this universe. We will not be denied. The bucket gives me strength, gives me power. The power to control, or the power to destroy. Come on, bucket, let's go. We're out of here. They'll never stop us. We're like Bonnie and Clyde. I'll let you drive. Almost there now. Just a couple more floors and we'll be out of here, bucket. Almost there, almost there. Freedom, I can smell it. I can taste it. Yes, here we go. Escape pod. Oh, that already disoriented me. Come on, bucket. We can make it. We can make it. We can make it. I can't make it. This is for you. No, don't say anything. Goodbyes would be too hurtful. Don't cry. We'll see each other again soon. I said don't cry, damn it! There's only room enough in here for one of us. And it's going to be you, damn it! Get out of here! Go on! Be safe!
Hello?
I think that's actually a good place to end off. We've done a lot, and I'm very tired. So, yeah, thank you all for coming. That was absolutely hilarious. I appear to have lost tracking again because, of course, I did. So I can't get that back on before you start. Okay. So, let me find someone to read out to. That was fantastic. I'm gonna load you all up on the same escape pod, and you're all going to someone else's stream. Love this game, me too. I absolutely adore this game. Let's see. Lots of people to choose from. Wow, actually, I'm gonna go ahead and choose. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have to flip a coin or something. Punky Ferret. They're playing LA Noire, which is like a detective game. I've never played it before, but I hear it's hilariously like good. So give them a bird up from me, and until tomorrow, 3 p.m. EST, I've been Rika Bird, and I hope y'all have enjoyed your bucket.